But then again, there are these 35 tanks over here, just on the other side of Brussels, and who knows what's gonna happen when we engage them. I might have lost the save file, so I have to restart. But this time I'm going to make the best tank possible and beat Sturmpanzer II in battle. Mostly because last time I played, they mopped the floor with me. We're back at the factory and I have to research a bunch of things before starting production. So, as any good business owner, I started by firing all the workers. I did hire another 25 engineers to max out my research speed. I put them to work researching gun components to improve damage and accuracy. Oh, and I almost forgot, I may have fired all the workers, but I did hire a bunch of administrators. With material costs hitting an all-time low, I made sure to stock up on supplies I'll need to make the first few tanks. When I finished researching the gun components I needed, I got started on the engine. With all engineers busy researching, I hired a bunch more to build the actual gun. Remember, this is a race against time, because this tank needs to supply Company A in the Western Front, otherwise it won't see any battle. The new engine was researched and I started looking into better tank tracks. I also started building the new engine, featuring a far better base component. Soon after, I was done with the tracks and moved on to hull research while the new tadpole running gear was built. I eventually unlocked the Mark V hull and went into the turret tree to get the rear cap turret, which is required by that particular hull component. As soon as the rear cap was done, I had engineers build it and shifted research back to the guns. I would need high explosive shells for the tank. When the HE shells were finished, all I needed were 40 engineers to build a prototype, so I fired the rest and hired a bunch of workers to get production line ready. I built the tank using the Mark V hull, the tadpole running gear, the Ricardo 6-cylinder engine, a secondary Lewis machine gun, a rear cab, another secondary Lewis machine gun, and a Basics pounder cannon available. As for the crew, I selected 2 commanders, a driver, 3 gunners, a loader, a mechanic, and a mechanic-loader hybrid. The crew were assigned fire extinguishers, overalls, and goggles. For ammo, I selected the most advanced high-explosive shell, as well as a solid steel shot. I named this monstrosity the Sub Mark I. As soon as it finished, I sent it off to the trials to uncover its true stats. With research and engineering done, I fired all the engineers, naturally. I was only interested in a single supply contract, and I would build no other tank models. I assigned all the workers to the assembly line and started building the subs. Eventually, the contract for Company A was available, and I submitted the overweight Sub Mark I, promising to deliver 14 units. At some point, the German High Command asked me to spy, but I refused. Several days later, I delivered the last sub, fulfilling my contract and earning some money and reputation. Not that I would really need them. With production done, I fired all my workers. The labor union was so pleased, they signed an agreement, increasing all of my 0 workers efficiency by 15%. Eventually, Company A clashed with the Sturmpanzer I in the Battle of Mons. Slightly outnumbered, the subs far outclassed the German tanks. They never got the chance to fire their little machine guns. Their tanks went down to a single shot from the cannons. The subs suffered no losses, and the Sturmpanzers lost 6 of their tanks. Another battle broke out, this time between the AI's Ajaxes and the Sturmpanzer I. Though I couldn't expectate it, it was another big loss for the German side. And now the real challenge began, as Company A clashed against Sturmpanzer II. Could the subs defeat the A7Vs who wrecked my previous game? Apparently, reliability was still an issue and some subs broke down, but the remainder pushed on. Last game my tanks could only damage the A7V and would go down in a single shot. This time I was better prepared. And it won in one hit. It was actually kinda surprising. In the end, 2 subs were lost to reliability and Sturmpanzer II was down to 3 tanks. The Germans retreated and Company B pushed on. In battle they lost 5 tanks, knocking out 4 more enemy vehicles. Soon after, Sturmpanzer I was back. Outnumbered 12-2, they engaged. 1 sub fell to reliability. The Germans were defeated, losing another tank. Now Sturmpanzer I was down to its last vehicle. As the clock ticked by and as it hit November, the demo was over. Maybe join their Discord, pledge to the Kickstarter, or just wishlist the game on Steam. I don't know.